Yeah, Jarvis, excuse me for going down this path. I know you've answered this before, but I just want to ask you about Coach Stefanski's leadership. And is there something about his style that you think strikes you or makes him unique?
Uh, he's all about the details. He's all about the details. He's all about winning, and doing whatever it takes. Even from his first press conference, and still his mantra today is we got to put the work in, and we gonna work. You know what I mean? And that's just been the motto that we've been coming out here and practicing with and playing with each and every Sunday. So, that's one thing I will give him. He's a man of his words, and he's doing whatever it takes to win.
Thanks.
Thanks, Marla. Next up is Nate Ulrich.
Hey, Jarvis, talking to some of the coaches and players here on week, a lot of guys have talked about the differences between week one and now. In what ways do you think this team has grown?
I think if you look back at, again, you go back to when the season first started, in a lot of ways, obviously we owe them they deserve the credit, but in a lot of ways, we did a lot of things that cost us the game, from turnovers to penalties. I think we went for it on our first punt, fake punt. So we gave we gave them more chances than we should have. And as the year went on, I think we've grown past those points, and I think we're plus 20 in the takeover from a defense standpoint, and I don't think we have turned the ball over in the last 5 or 6 weeks. So we want to keep that. That's higher priority for us, and we want to keep it that way.
And kind of along those lines of growth and development, what are you seeing from Baker Mayfield lately that's allowed him to turn the corner and put some good games together, and obviously the huge production in a big game in Nashville?
He just keeps going, man. He just keeps going. He just keeps coming to work to try to get better. He keeps challenging himself, challenging us on the outside. We finding ways to, do different things, and also get good at the things that we want to do, game in and game out. So I think for us, man, the more time that we continue to spend together, the better we're getting. But again, I'll keep on saying it, the best football that we have to play is ahead of us. And, that starts with coming out here and working on this practice field each and every day.
Thank you, Nate. Scott Petrick, you're next.
Hey, Jarvis, is the set of corners that the Ravens have, is that the best set you'll see this year?
Yeah, man, I think those guys are very talented. I think, they both from a standpoint of being ball hawks as far as getting the ball out, whether it's, catching interceptions or, when they're going in to tackle, making sure that they're stripping the ball out or punching it out. I think they do a very great job at that. And obviously, their coverage skill speaks for itself. But we're excited about the matchup and the challenge.
AVP talked about how in order to handle their pressure, everybody's got to do it, and you guys have to win against their corners. How do they make it tough for you guys on the outside?
They grab a lot. They grab a lot. They're going to play physical. They're going to force the referees to be a part of the game. And, that's something from a receiver standpoint, we can't allow, so we got to find a way to, create space and make the tough catches and obviously make the easy ones when they're there as well, break a couple tackles. And I think that's how our yards and our big plays will come.
Thank you.
Thank you, Scott. Daryl Ryder, go to you.
Hey, Jarvis, you guys have come a long way since you walked in the door as an organization, and now here you are in December playing not only meaningful football, but your next two are going to be in prime time. What have you seen from your teammates and just organizationally that makes you not only excited but confident that you guys are now ready for the spotlight that this franchise hasn't had in a long time?
Again, like I said, I think the priority, the urgency, of winning and doing everything that it takes throughout the week to make sure that that's possible. And then every guy, obviously, again, look at themselves in the mirror, understanding what we have to correct, what we have to do offensively, defensively, and special teams. And again, coming out here on this practice field, making sure that we can practice at a high level. That way, when we go out there to play, we play at a high level.
Yesterday, Rashard Higgins mentioned how he feels like Baker puts him in a position to win, and Coach Stefanski finds the routes and the plays that really work for him. And that's what has, made him successful. And that's a difference he notices this year. Is it the same thing for you? When you look at how this season has gone, is that the difference that you've noticed for yourself as well? That Baker puts you in a position to win and Coach Stefanski finds what works best for you and uses it?
Yeah, I think it's all about trust, and I think for us too, time builds that trust. So being able to again I keep going back to practice because I feel like that's where it all starts. So having the opportunity to show it and win the right to have that opportunity in the game. Earn the right to have the opportunity in the game. I think that's something that's very huge. And Coach Stefanski obviously sees it. It does amazing things for our quarterback. It does amazing things for our offense as a whole. When you go back to look at it and it's just how you drew it up, and then Baker makes the throw, receiver makes the catch, and that's how it goes. So that process it is a process, but it's something that I think we're figuring out.
Thanks.
Thank you, Daryl. Mary Kay Cabot is next.
Yeah, Jarvis, just wondering, how do you think that Baker handled all of the doubt this season, all of the criticism that he took this season? Everyone questioning whether or not he could be the guy, and maybe kind of what role did you play in some of that? The coaches, how did this all go down?
I mean, just for me, just watching him, I think he just, stuck to the script. I think he understood that regardless of, what was happening, wins or losses, that, it also reflects on him and how he plays. So I think that for him, he's been one of the hardest workers since I've gotten here. And he's not content with what he's done or what he's done in the past or anything like that. So, that's always something that's encouraging to see, from a guy who have had success and is still on the younger side of players and quarterbacks in this league. So, it's still encouraging to see. And, from us, from a standpoint, is building that trust of just making these plays out here and having an open line of communication on and off the field.
And does it seem like, I know you've pretty much always believed this, but it looks like he's establishing himself as the quarterback for you guys that can take you exactly where you want to go. Do you feel that way?
Absolutely.
What makes you say that?
A lot of the things that I just stated, just it's encouraging to see how he just continues to come out here and work, regardless of what he do in the previous game, and being able to, water under the bridge, the things that are said about him or in the media or whatever it is, whether he takes it personal or not, I know he comes here to work and challenge himself, and it's paid off. Look, we're 9-3, and that's, you couldn't say that, I don't think, 20 years ago, you know what I mean? So it says a lot about that man.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mary Kay. I believe we have time for two more, Dan Lobby and Tom Withers. Dan, go ahead.
Hey, Jarvis, obviously you guys didn't get on the field in the spring and you were limited in training camp. So I'm wondering now, how much more open is the playbook, I guess, than it was back, when you played Baltimore that first time, or just those early days of the season? How much more is available to you guys?
Yeah, I think it depends on who we playing that week. I think now that there's a lot more film out of with us and of other teams, we're able to find ways to put things in, invent things, but also have our bread and butter things be designed in the plan as well. So, as it unfolds, trust me, there's a lot of plays that go in that, we are learning now, but that are also, off of other plays. So I think for us, man, we just got to go out there and make the plays, the bread and butter plays, and then the ones that we draw up pretty much, for that week. Those are the big ones that we want to make sure that we hit in the game because they're going to be game changers.
Thanks.
Thank you, Dan. Tom Withers, you're up.
Thanks, Rob. Thanks, Jarvis. Hey, speaking of bread and butter, Nick and Kareem have really understood the importance of checking their egos this year and that they're stronger together. How much has that chemistry between them, Jarvis, had to do with where you guys are at right now?
I think personally that's the character of both of those guys. I think that both of those guys are extremely humble, obviously blessed with talent, And you know, again, two of the hardest working guys out here, even though they're sharing reps. And yeah, but at the end of the day, I think, you know, for to watch what they can do and how they cheer for each other and, you know, mutually respect each other, and it's something that, you know, you want as a teammate, and that's something that you want to see on your team. You know, it's definitely a uplifting sight.
Yeah, it would be reasonable to expect there to be some jealousy, or like you said, or to be, not be happy with their touches. How rare is that, Jarvis? You played on a lot of teams. How rare is that to have two guys of this kind of star magnitude be that willing to accept their roles?
I mean, you don't see it often. You know, you really don't see it often, to be honest with you. But you know, again, you know, these guys, you know, they embody what, you know, who we are as a team. You know, I think Nick Chubb, I mean, stand-up guy. I mean, I don't know if there's a bad bone in his body. You know, he's one of the nicest people that I've ever met. And then on Sunday, he turns into a whole different person. You know, and same with Kareem. You know, quiet, soft-spoken, but you know, he gets on the field and he's a totally different person. But at the end of the day, I think they both understand what they bring to the table and that they're both beneficial, and they know that, you know, together they can do something special.
Thanks, man.
We can take one more, Nate Ulrich.
Thanks, Rob. Hey, Jarvis, you just moved into a interesting spot on this list of guys with at least 5 catches, and you have 71 games now in your first 7 seasons. So you're right behind Antonio Brown and Marvin Harrison. They have 72. So I was just wondering, what do you think of those names, Antonio Brown, Marvin Harrison, and you're right there on the doorstep of right behind DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah, I mean, legends. I mean, those guys are guys that I've watched play the game the right way for a long time, and that, you know, I aspire to have, you know, a career similar, or or just similar, you know. And I think that you know, it's an honor to hear that. It's an honor to be recognized next to those guys, and you know, I'm just, again, like, those guys are a lot part of my inspiration of the receiver that I am and wanted to become.
And that list is all about consistency. I mean, we talked a lot about being available, being tough and all that, but consistently producing, I mean, how much pride do you take in going out there and, 70 plus games doing that?
Yeah, listen, man, I've been doing this for so long, feels like, since a kid, and, you know, a lot of this, is who I am. So, you know, every time I take the field, you know, I always expect to have a game-changing performance, or a performance that will help the team in some type of way. And that's just been my mindset and my drive behind why I play. Never really for the recognition, but I also understood that, you know, if you're available to be out there, you can make plays. And if you're not, you can't. So, you know, I think that that's a testament to just, you know, being available. And then obviously all the work that I put in out there in the practice field, or, you know, on just growing up, whatever, you know, has allowed me to make those plays.